tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, the heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today, we are bringing you the reboot to one of the biggest horror movie franchises ever. And this is Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, starring Emily Bader, Ronald Buck III, and Henry Ayers Brown. I ain't got to tell you, cast don't really matter in these type of movies. But here's a quick synopsis. The film follows a young woman trying to discover what happened with her mother, who disappeared years ago, until she discovers a terrifying truth about her mother's past. Now, going into any Paranormal Activity film, you're kind of not expecting it to be the best. You're just there for the thrills, the jumps, and the found footage type of filmmaking. Here, the first thing that pulled me out of this movie was how great the found footage, how great it looked. Jeez Louise, we have gone leaps and bounds from the first Paranormal Activity, which had a little graininess into the film, so it made it feel more like you were there and it was being recorded. But now technology has advanced so far, I couldn't tell the difference between the way they were shooting this and the way they shoot a regular movie. Could not tell the difference. And you could get me to think that they actually shot this on the camera. I'm like, no, this is shot with movie quality everything on it. And that's the first thing that pulls me out of it. The storyline is extremely interesting. As we get Emily's character finds out that she's adopted, and then finds out that her mother, who gave her up for adoption, was Amish. And she meets one of her relatives on like a dating site where he was also searching for just Amish people, because this is supposed to be his break. And I know other films have talked about the break, and for people that don't know, like, it's a certain point of time with Amish people when the kids become of age and they're allowed to explore the world and then come back. So through his journey, when he's allowed to explore the world, is where he meets Emily's character. And once they meet, she wants to discover more about her family, her past, and her actual life. Because as she said before, like, I'm adopted. You don't get these many opportunities to learn about the family that left you. Here's then where the movie just goes completely off the rails, as she decides to go back to the farm with the gentleman to discover why did her mom leave her and what is her life's purpose. And then everything that happens in a Paranormal Activity film starts to happen. We get things that go bump in the night. We get people who are just weird for no apparent reason. It is so much that happens that you kind of question why she did not leave. And she came with someone who I'm guessing is supposed to be her boyfriend. That's never really made clear if he's her boyfriend or just her cameraman. And then they come with another guy who's doing their sound. The whole time you're questioning, why aren't y'all leaving? Everything is weird here. Even the ghost moments that happen in this film, it's all weird. And you're like, okay, at one point in time, do you just decide we're just going to stay and just work this all out? I think we're at the point now that by rebooting this franchise and then taking it to a place where you really brought it out into the world. Because the first film felt so self-contained because it was in a house. That whole storyline was really based in the house and between a couple. Here, you take this character now out into the world, it just comes across as too much. The Paranormal Activity works when it's no more than a cast of 3 people, and it leaves you guessing with the weird stuff that happens to the couple or to the person. Here, it's just way too many people in this film. And because of it, the moments that could have been creepy don't come across that way. It makes you question everything that they're doing because it's too many of them to make this many dumb decisions. And that's where it just slips. It really does. And this is something I was looking forward to. Again, I love horror movies. So I was really looking forward to seeing how they were going to reboot this series, especially after the last two films in the Paranormal series weren't that good. But the last one kind of closed off completely the storyline. And then here we get introduced to new characters and a completely new storyline that is so big, it kind of makes you wonder, why are they doing this? Like, this film, very weird to say this, sets up world building for Paranormal Activity. You know what we didn't need? World building for Paranormal Activity. It betrayed everything that I think this series started out to be. And here it feels like someone in a studio decided we have to reboot this and we have to make it bigger. And what's the weirdest thing of all is that, of recent memory, a lot of the horror reboots have been good. The first one that pumps in my head is the reboot of Wrong Turn, which is really good. And yet and still, they do this with Paranormal Activity, and it kind of makes you wonder and question, like, whomever did this film, did you not understand why audiences loved Paranormal Activity? Because it comes across like you don't understand why audience loved Paranormal Activity. Instead, it comes across as you wanted to make a big franchise type of film to reboot everything for Paranormal Activity. And unfortunately, it comes across as wasted. So, Paranormal Activity, which is dropping October the 29th, Friday, October 29th. Or I could say, because you're going to see this when it drops, because the way it works. So, today it drops on Paramount Plus for you to check it out. So, out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Paranormal Activity Next of Kin a 3 out of 10. This is one of the biggest disappointments this year for horror, because it didn't have to be. It really didn't. Man, to understand the setup of this young woman trying to find out why she was adopted, and then her finding out that her mom was Amish, which I keep on saying that, but as you watch the movie, we get different plays on that also. But from her finding out that her mom is Amish, and then if you would have just kept it between her finding this relative and then her and maybe one other person, great. Instead, you involved an entire town in this film, something that's never worked in any Paranormal Activity film when you have decided to go that big with a cast in it. And here it feels like kind of like the last two Paranormal Activities films did. So, again, it drops Paramount Plus October 29th. Check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.